Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make a no-sew mouse out of the finger of a stretchy glove. Now you can pick up these stretchy gloves during the fall and winter season, and they're usually $1 for a pair, sometimes 2 pairs for $1. So you'll need to pick up a white glove for the body, and then a colored glove for the hat and the scarf. And since I made this little mouse in pink, then I'm going to use an aqua color for the one I'm doing today. So I'm going to set the little mouse aside, and I cut off, as you can tell, one of the fingers in the glove. Doesn't matter which finger because you can use all of them for the mouse. And I'm just opening it up a little like that. I'm taking a Dixie cup with some white rice in it, and I'm just going to pour a little in at a time and then just kind of push it down. Alright? And yeah, you'll spill some on your mat, but that's okay. You can clean it up after. There we go. Pushing it on down. A little at a time. And that's okay if you think that you have a whole lot in here, because I would rather put in a little too much rice than not enough. And I would caution you to use the white rice only if you're using the white glove, because what I noticed is when I used brown rice on another no-sew project, I could see the brown rice through the glove, because as it stretches you're going to see some of the color, and it made this look a little on the dingy side, and it wasn't dingy, it was just the rice, the color of the rice behind it. Okay, so now we're going to make it into like a little fat sausage here, and you're going to see you have a little bit at the top here. Well, I'm going to take one of these hair rubber bands and tie it with those, and these are clear. You can pick these up at the Dollar Tree, and they are cheap. I mean, there's like 500, I think, for that $1 that you pay. However, it's not going to be near the quality as if you buy, for example, the Goody brand. This is a Goody brand right here. The quality is so much better. So I don't mind paying that $2 extra for a package of quality rubber bands. So I'm just going to tie this on here. I think I can put this around here about 3 times maybe. Yeah. And then I'm gonna, there we go. Move this rice out of the way. Okay. So now we're going to kind of make it like a sausage. Okay. Kind of nice and even. And going to take another rubber band, clear rubber band. Like this. And I'm going to put it about here, maybe, yeah, maybe about here. And I'm going to tie that off, and as you can see, I'm going to wrap it around 3 times, make it nice and tight. you'll see a head form. And that's the mouse's face. Okay, so now we have this little thing up here, so I'm going to cut this off like so, and I'm going to put some turbo tacky glue at the top for two reasons. It will dry hard and it's not going to come apart easily, and it'll also help the hat stick on. Okay, and that's the Aliens Turbo Tacky Glue that I used there. Okay, so now for the hat, I'm going to take the colored glove. Just a moment here, I knocked some of my bits around. Okay, and I'm just going to cut any finger off of this. I'll do it right here, like so. Okay, so I'm just going to take this bottom part and I'm going to roll it up a couple of times to make it look like a tall little snow cap. And you want this to have to be fairly tall, because I'm going to tie off this little part right here, make like a little palm type thing on the top of the hat. And I'm putting the hat on and putting it all the way down in the back, up a little bit towards the front, because we're going to need some room to put his little nose and his eyes and whiskers on and all that stuff. So okay, so now I'm going to tie with this strong upholstery thread that I picked up at Walmart. I'm going to tie the top with it. It's real strong. It's not like the regular thread that'll break. And before I do that, I have two little bells that I'm going to string on right at the top of the hat. Just to give it a little decoration. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and make a loop like this, and then that way I can just put it on top and pull like so. And then I'll just tie it a couple more overhand knots in the back. Like so. Okay. I'm just going to cut this off now. Okay, so now we have the little hat on. And I know it looks like a snowman. I also have another video where I did make two little snowmen out of the finger of a glove, and they were miniature ones. So you might want to look that one up too. In fact, I think I'll just go ahead and put that link at the end of this video in case you want to click on it. I made a Mr. and Mrs. Snowman. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is put on his ears, and I just took white felt and pink felt, and I used the top of a water bottle cap, and I just traced around it with the white felt and the pink with a mechanical pencil. I like the mechanical pencils because you can really get in there and trace it. and then I just cut them out with my precision scissors. So now I'm going to need to take the pink ears like this and make them a little bit smaller so I can glue them onto here, because what we're going for is something like this, the white and then the pink on the inside that's a little smaller. So I'm just going to eyeball this. Like so. Like so. And as you can see, these aren't absolutely 100% perfect, but I can always trim them up. Okay, that's a little better. And then I'll do the same thing here. Okay, like so. So I'm going to take my low temp hot glue gun and just squeeze a little. If I can get this off my fingers. Oh, for Pete's sakes. Okay. Don't do like that, though. Okay, let me get this off my fingers. That's the reason that I use low temp hot glue. Okay. Now let's try this, huh? Alright. So now I made it. Alright, so the next thing you're going to do is take these circles and just fold them like this in the middle, kind of like that, to make it like a mouse shape. Okay, here you want it rounded still, so we're just kind of folding it at the bottom like that. See how I have this? And I'm going to come in with a little hot glue like so. I'm going to hold it for a few seconds just to make sure it sticks. Okay, so you can see it from the side and from the front. Alright, so I'm going to set that down. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this one. And then hold this so it'll kind of match the other one. And I'm going to blow on this one too. Okay, so you have this. Alright, so now I'm just going to take some hot glue and glue this right above the brim. So I'm going to take my hot glue right here and glue this on the side of the head right above the brim. And I'm going to hold it there like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing on here, right above the brim of the hat. There we go. There we go. So now we have our little mouse. Now you can leave it plain like that, or you can add, like I did here, a little bit of sparkle inside the ears. I just used Craft Twinkles. It's a brush-on glitter paint. I just put a little bit on my finger, like so, and just kind of rub it in the ears. Got a piece of dried paint, I think, here. So let me get a paper towel and get that off my hand. Okay. And I just use my finger on this. Having trouble with the bottle now. There we go. There we go. Yeah, that'll dry after a while. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make yarn arms, which are very easy, and a little yarn tail, which is also very easy to do. Okay. And I used this yarn that I picked up. It was actually on sale from Hobby Lobby, Vanna's Choice. It's the Lion brand, and it wasn't, I didn't pay this price, I got it cheaper. And this is a number 4 medium, so I picked this up and that's what I used. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is cut off a piece of yarn. And it doesn't matter what length it is. I'd rather have you cut off a little too much yarn than not enough, so you're just going to even this up like this at the end and just make a knot. Like so. And then pull. Okay, then you're going to cut this off right up to the top. And if you'd like, you could take some glue, some white glue, just a little bit rubbed on your finger, and just dot it like this and let it dry, and it'll dry clear. That way the knot won't come out. Okay, so now I'm just going to take this and cut it like that in half. And I'm just going to see how it'll fit or how it will look on here. So I thought, okay, well, this looks pretty good about here, I think. So I'm going to put the glue right here. Yeah, there'll be long pieces left over, but that's okay. We'll just cut it off. So just barely squeeze the trigger on this. Barely squeeze the trigger and then just hold it on there for a second. And then do the same thing on this side. Like so. Okay, so now I'm going to come in after it's dried and just cut the excess off. Okay, like that. So now you have his little hands. Got some glue here. There we go. There we go. So now we're going to glue a tail on. And it's the same type of thing. I just cut any length of yarn. And I'm going to tie a little knot at the end. In fact, I might tie a couple little knots, one on top of the other, like so. Okay. And I'm going to cut this part off here and just do the same thing. Take some white glue, rub it on your fingers, and dab it here and let it dry, and it'll dry clear. And I'm going to place this yarn right here on the back, probably a little lower like this, okay? And I'm going to make sure the tail has enough to where I can wrap it around. It'll look cute, but not so long that it'll look ridiculous. So just kind of adjust to where you think it looks good. And so you'll have an idea of how long you want it. So I think that looks good, about like here. So I'm going to flip him upside down and just put a little dot of hot glue and do this. Okay, so now I'm going to blow on that. Okay. And I'm going to come in and cut off the excess. Probably could have gone down. Well, that's not bad. Okay. Probably got a little too much hot glue on here. You have to be careful. Just barely squeeze the trigger when you're doing it, and there, see, and when he sits, this will be a little low, like that. That's where you want it. All right. Okay, so now we have that done, and of course this will go much faster when you're doing it. The reason why it's going a little slow is because I'm taking my time explaining it. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is add a little embellishment. And where did my candy cane go? Okay, I don't know why, but my candy cane is missing. So I'm going to pull one out of my drawer here real quickly. Okay. I'm glad I'm organized because I knew right where to go. Okay, so I bought these tiny little candy canes actually quite a few years ago. I mean, quite a few. And they're just two pieces of wire that are, you know, wrapped together and shaped to look like a candy cane. And I got them from one of the little embellishment packages, but if you can't find these at Christmas, you can make your own. Just take some red and white wire, a real fine gauge, and then just twist it together and make a little candy cane. Okay, so I'm going to put just the tiniest bit of hot glue right here. I mean, just the smallest amount. I'm barely squeezing that trigger because I want to put this candy cane like this to where it looks like the mouse is holding the candy cane. So I'm going to press on it and then hold it for a few seconds. Okay. And so next I'm going to put a little heart on the little mouse, and these little hearts, these came from the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has had these the last couple of years. They're big sellers. And the package comes with 4 different size hearts, so that's where I bought this. Now, if you don't have this, you can always go to Michael's, and I believe it's Recollections, the bling that they have. I saw some real tiny hearts like that, so I'm just putting a little heart on him because it looks like he needs it. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is make the little mouse's scarf. And I'm just going to take a piece of the glove here. I'm just going to cut, let's see, I'm going to cut all the fingers off here. Now, you can do this with felt, but I kind of wanted this to match, so that's why I'm doing it this way. And I'm just cutting this straight across, like so. Alright, and cutting this like that. I'm going to pull it, and when I pull it, this is going to curl. So this will give me several scarves. I'm just going to tie this and then I'll cut it. To the side like so. This piece and then cut this, and this will give you, like I said, at least a couple more scarves, and then you can cut more for more mice, or you can use felt, either way. So we have a little scarf now, a little fuzzy scarf, and I'm going to put just a tiny dot of glue right underneath, just so it'll kind of stay in one place. Okay? Alright. So now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to glue on the mouse's pom-pom nose. Now, the pom-pom I had originally was a little larger, and I needed the nose to be smaller, and I didn't have one this size, so I just took the one that was a little larger and gave it a haircut all over with my scissors. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this because it really is a pain to do, and it does take a while. But I tried to measure this, and I believe it's about an 8 to a 9 millimeter. So if you go into the craft store, then you know, you can ask someone for about that size. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a little dot of hot glue on it, and I'm going to place it right here in the middle, right towards the bottom of the scarf. Okay, and you want to leave a little room to make 2 black eyeballs right there. That's why I put the hat on before I did the face or anything, because you kind of need to put the hat on to judge exactly where you need to put you know, the pom-pom and where you're going to place the eyes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a little blush on his cheeks, and I just picked up the LA colors at the Dollar Tree, and it's called Pink Blush. So I'm going to take one of my Dollar Tree Q-tips and give this one a little blush. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to place it like this and just spin it like this into a circle. Like so. Oops. Okay. And you know, I forgot to put blush on this one, so I'm going to do it now. And you're going to put the blush on before you put the whiskers on. Okay, yeah, see, that looks a little better. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add whiskers. And I just picked this bead landing hemp cord up, and it's very, very narrow. And the only reason I'm using this is because I kind of wanted to see the whiskers. Now, you can buy a toothbrush and cut off the bristles and use them as whiskers, or I had one lady tell me that she bought a brand new toilet brush from the Dollar Tree and just cut off the bristles on the toilet brush. And so you can certainly do that. There's a lot of good ideas out there. But I'm just using this really narrow hemp cord that I had in there. Okay. So you're going to need 4 pieces. And I really dislike the way Bead Landing puts their cords on cards because it bends the cords up. I think they should put it on something like a spool. I've had more issues with their suede cord and their hemp cord because it bends and it's hard to get out. Okay, so I'm just going to cut any length because we're going to trim them up once we have them on. I don't want that bend. See that little bend part there? Yeah, I don't like that, so cut that off. Okay. And you can use tweezers or you can use your fingers, but what I'm doing is I'm just putting a dot of glue, hot glue here, and I'm just taking my whisker and twisting my whisker like this in the hot glue, and I'm going to put it right here behind the nose. And you might want to put it a little upwards, it makes it easier to see. Now with each whisker I'm going to have to put a little tiny dot of hot glue because by the time I finish one whisker, then the hot glue is usually dry. So we're only giving this little mouse 2 whiskers on each side, and like I said, we'll trim them up when we're finished. Okay, I'm going to twist the whisker. And it sticks really well. Having trouble with strings today, aren't I? Okay. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to trim them up. And I think this looks good about here. And then on this side, I'm going to try to match it up with what I did on the other side. I'm going to trim just a little at a time because I would rather have you trim too little instead of too much. Okay. Okay, picking all the strings off. Strings, strings, and more strings. Okay. Alright, I'm going to move this. So now we have this little guy, and he's taking shape little by little. So the very last thing we have to do is the black puppy paint eyes and the nose. So let's set this up here, and I'll get another paper towel. Okay. And I'm just using the shiny black. Yeah, this is the Scribbles puffy paint. And I'm going to give it one sharp tap. And I'm just going to test it out a little. Okay. I want to make sure it's not spurting or anything like that. And for the eyes, you're going to make 1, 2 little dots that are fairly close together. And for the nose, you're going to make an oval shape by starting out slow, squirting a little more, and then letting go of the pressure on the bottle. So it looks like that. And I'm going to leave this little mouse just like that for now. Get that other whisker out of there. Because I want it to dry, okay? And I don't want to move anything until it's dry. So when this is 100% completely dry, I will post this on my blog at happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and you can see the results. But I think that this little mouse is going to turn out super cute once this dries. So I'm going to lay him here on the box and try not to move him until that's completely dry. Okay, so that's it, guys, and I sure appreciate you staying with me while I finished this. I know it was a long video, and I know sometimes the comments that I get, people really don't like me taking too much time, but there's some things that I feel that just need to be said, so I need to go into a little more detail with, especially crafts like this, because I've done a lot of things that, for me, that were errors, and I try to let you guys know to prevent you from making mistakes. So if you can learn from my mistakes, then that's great. Alright, guys, thank you so much again, and God bless each and every one of you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.